to Atypical Talk. This is a podcast where we have conversations that illuminate the intersection of faith, culture, and the common spaces of our humanity. I'm Abby.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Brooke.
And our first question today, with the Olympics going on, they're slowing down at this point, right? They should be done here soon.
The end, the final slope.
Yeah. Love that.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask you guys, what Olympic sport would you most like to learn? And it doesn't have to be something that you feel like you would actually be good at, but like something that you think it would be fun to try.
I know I would be good at none of these, but I love watching figure skating, which, you know, I'm never going to be a figure skater because
Blades of glory over here.
If you've listened to this podcast more than a couple of times, you know that my rational fear is getting my fingertips cut off by ice skates.
Yes.
So, but I do love to watch it. And
You're going to face your fears.
I would love to. I would love to. But I also love gymnastics, and to be able to be so flexible and flip around like that, it just looks so fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think
those are cool.
My mind went directly to a young Joel who was in a movie theater seeing the 1993 classic Cool Runnings.
Oh, I love that
about
movie.
the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yes.
And thinking about, it's apparently now it's called bobsleigh. They call it winter
Really?
bobsleigh at the Olympics. And so, but I just think back on this movie. If you haven't seen the movie that probably should have won the award for best movie of all time, it's got John Candy in it, and the synopsis is there's a Jamaican sprinter who's disqualified from the Summer Olympics, so he enlists the help of a dishonored coach, John Candy, to start the first Jamaican bobsled team. And I know way too many quotes from this movie.
It's a good movie.
I've never seen
you
it.
dead man. Not yet.
Now you need to watch it. It'll be your airplane movie.
You know, the joke is they're in Jamaica where there's no snow, and they're like learning how to bobsled.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Based very loosely on a true story.
Yes.
As I learned. That's what I think of, like going super fast. Bobsledding. That sounds fun.
It feels like it would be like a roller coaster,
Yes.
but dangerous.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
dangerous.
So I think that would be cool. I also think learning snowboarding would be really cool. I don't think I have any of the skills to be able to do anything they do, but I think it would just be fun. Yeah.
Just flying in the air,
Yeah.
slinging the board around, trying to look like Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Making it happen. It's like skateboard tricks, but you're like jumping off of a mountain.
Yeah.
You're doing
Yeah.
it. So.
And your board is strapped to your feet, so
That's
no,
also
no bailing.
Yes, no bailing at all.
Really have to
all right,
commit.
we got to go try it out. The video will be in the show notes.
No. I'm hoping we're not getting enough snow for that to even be possible in the next month or so.
Yeah.
Our first topic today, it's a Fox News article titled Eileen Gu said she's been physically assaulted over representing China instead of U.S. at Olympics. Eileen Gu has sparked controversy over her decision to represent China instead of the United States. Born in San Francisco, she made the decision in 2019 to compete for China and defended her choice ahead of this year's Olympic Games. Gu's mother was born in China and earned her master's degree there. The decision has garnered backlash online and on camera from numerous figures. However, Gu recently claimed that some have taken it too far, including being physically assaulted on the street. Vice President J.D. Vance said this on Fox News. I certainly think that someone who grew up in the United States of America, who benefited from our education system, from the freedoms and liberties that make this country a great place, I would hope that they would want to compete with the United States of America. So I'm going to root for American athletes. I think part of that is people who identify themselves as Americans. That's who I'm rooting for in this Olympics. Former NBA player Ines Kanter Freedom took it a step further, calling Gu a traitor. He said she was born in America, she was raised in America, lives in America, and chooses to compete against her own country for literally the worst human rights abuser on the planet, China. She built her fame in a free country and then chooses to represent an authoritarian regime. So do you think it's a betrayal for her to compete for a country she wasn't born in?
I mean, betrayal's such a strong word when we're talking about
sports. It feels really strong, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. I mean, I actually am sympathetic to both sides of this argument, just because like there are realities of freedoms that she's been able to experience living here and being here, where it can feel like, oh man, you went to the other team when we can actually compete and you can represent your country. That's I mean, truly given her and given all of us so much and so much opportunities. So yeah, I get that where it feels kind of gross in that regard. But I mean, to make this huge feeling like she is a traitor to our country and all this kind of stuff feels really strong too, especially when you're talking about sports. And there is no excuse for physical violence because of this either. So I think that this is a little overblown. I mean, one of the things about America is this messy thing called freedom, and she does have the freedom to choose who she wants to represent. And even if you don't like it, isn't that one of the things that we all want, is the freedom of choice for these kind of decisions in our country? So you have to deal with that in the choices that you don't agree with sometimes, which makes it messy and complicated, but no one's getting harmed. No one is dying or getting hurt here by this decision. So I tend to be like, slow your roll. Maybe it's not in great taste and I don't personally like it, but slow your roll on assaulting her or calling her a traitor to this country. Yeah. That's my take.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that it's awesome that she wants to be a role model for other girls maybe in China who want to see someone who looks like them doing this amazing thing that she's able to do, and for these little girls to think like maybe that could be me one day too, but I also see the side of she's benefited from the freedom, the education, etc. in this country, and how it can feel. Betrayal feels like a strong word, but I can see where people would push up against that a little bit.
I mean, I am much more offended that 10-year veteran on the Indiana Pacers, Miles Turner, signed a contract to go into the division rival Milwaukee Bucks this year. That was much more of a slap in the face than this. Right? I mean, and again, like I come at this, and when I try to think of everything like theologically too, and how it fits into my Christian worldview and how I understand God and His kingdom. And I think about God's kingdom, and it's just, there's really no borders in God's kingdom, and there's just people, and these are all man-made things that we have created to where I'm not going to treat somebody differently because they're playing for this team. Now I can cheer for my team, and I am patriotic. I love being in America, and I love raising my family in America. There's no other place I would do it, but I don't see me being American as intrinsically better and higher than who she is. I mean, there are things I disagree with much more, I'm sure, with the Chinese government than our government, but I disagree with all of that kind of stuff and find points of agreement and all that stuff. And as a citizen of the kingdom of God, it's like, first, I try to see these things differently and from a higher perspective than just which team is good, which team is bad in that way. And this bit of controversy just feels to me as a Christ follower like, okay, this takes my eye off the ball. I need to lift my perspective to see, okay, Eileen Gu is a person made in God's image who God loves. And because I'm a part of God's kingdom that is multicultural and transnational, then I don't have to get so caught up in what flag she has draped around her shoulders at the ceremony. And that helps me see the situation. Even though I don't personally love the decision, we live in a free country, and I'm not going to change the way I treat somebody just because of the flag they wave.
Yep. I see it as her honoring her heritage and honoring her mother in this way. It's plus maybe I only see the good side of the Olympics, but it feels like a healthy competition where countries are coming together to compete, but still like celebrating each other's wins and stuff. And so to bring this negative, like, oh, she's doing this terrible thing when she's just competing in some sports, it's not that deep. Like it feels like people are taking it much more seriously than it needs to be.
Yeah, I appreciate what both of you guys shared from your perspective of like, for young Chinese girls to see her and to see, what she can do and see themselves in her, and then also to see her trying to honor her mother and her heritage in that way too, which I think both of those things are sort of downplayed in the conversation. And understanding your guys' perspectives in this too, like this is so much of a bigger thing than her giving middle fingers to America. And, I think we like to paint these stories as very much like she's just slapping the face to this, and there's just more going on, and so maybe we should be a little bit more empathetic, and even if we disagree, say, okay, that's what freedom looks like sometimes.
Yep. Our next topic today is also about the Olympics. It's a BBC article titled "How the Sound of Sport is Being Reimagined for Deaf Fans." The Deaflympics are an Olympic competition held every 4 years for deaf athletes. The 2025 Deaflympics in Tokyo has become a groundbreaking showcase for inclusive technology, transforming how deaf fans experience live sports. Innovative solutions are reimagining sound through multiple sensory channels, making it something you can see, feel, and even hold. From animated onomatopoeia flashing above table tennis courts to AI-powered transportation displays and vibration devices that translate the impact of judo throws, these technologies ensure deaf spectators don't miss the atmosphere that makes sporting events thrilling. These accessibility innovations extend beyond the sporting venues into Tokyo's urban infrastructure. At metro stations, transparent sound-to-text translation screens help deaf visitors navigate the city, while AI systems convert environmental sounds like train announcements and warning buzzers into text in sign language. The Hapbeat vibration device, originally developed for immersive music experiences, allows judo fans to feel every shuffle, collision, and throw through tactile sensations delivered to their chest. Even music performances have been reimagined through sound hug orbs that pulse with light and vibrations, translating not just tone and beat, but the emotion of traditional performances. What makes the Deaflympics particularly powerful is that deaf users are leading the design process, ensuring these technologies genuinely meet their needs. What did you guys think about this article?
I feel like I just read a lot of words I did not know existed and heard a lot of words that I didn't know existed. It just feels so futuristic to think about all that is going on the bleeding edge of technology when it comes to sound becoming accessible in ways that people that cannot traditionally hear sound and through their hearing loss can experience. And it blows my mind when I think about it. And it's interesting reading about, they talked about the Hapbeat vibration device using haptics. This is something that they do in certain rides in Disney World to try to like help people feel sound and sensations and stuff like that. And when I, back in 2023, I went to Las Vegas for the grand opening of the Sphere, this new music venue, and saw my favorite band U2 play with my buddy Dylan. And we were on the floor because those were some of the cheaper seats with like no seats. But up in the seats, they had haptic into the seats to where there were certain songs that the visuals were like a desert landscape where they would have like wind blow through the haptics so people felt like they were in the desert. There's another one where there was like a big burning flag in the middle of the visuals and people could feel heat coming from their seats, like the fire that you saw where you were experiencing. So like it's things that you can feel even if you couldn't see or hear in that way. So it's really cool thinking about that that technology being used for people that cannot traditionally hear and have hearing loss. So I think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll have the article linked in the show notes. There's like pictures and stuff about showing some of these devices and like what was it called, the sound hug. It's like this giant ball that they hold and it like has vibrations for the different sound and stuff. It's really neat to see.
Wild.
Yeah. It is wild. I love reading these types of articles about just people who have not previously been included in society in most things, and people going out of their way to make sure that they can be included. I have not particularly had a lot of time working with deaf people specifically, but I have worked a lot with families and kiddos with disabilities even prior to working at the church. And I know so often these kids and their families feel like they are being pushed to the outside. And so for people to be going above and beyond and not only doing things that they think are going to be helpful, but at the end of the summary here, it talks about how they have deaf users that are leading the design process to make sure that these technologies are actually meeting the needs. And I just think that that is incredible. I feel like this is a huge step towards, I don't know, I think about like heaven coming to earth. Like we are including all people and just trying to make this experience special for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Until reading this, I didn't think about how sound is such a huge part of sporting events. Like I never thought about how that's such a big part of the atmosphere and stuff. And so being able to experience that has to be so incredible.
Yeah.
I was just sharing with somebody last weekend about a moment last spring when my father-in-law and I got to go to a Pacers playoff game, and we were up in the nosebleeds. It was a elimination game, so we needed to win the game to win the series, and we were getting beat the whole game, but we somehow forced overtime, and then with like 3 seconds left, Tyrese Halliburton took it in and scored on their best player, and there was no time left on the clock, and the sound of what happened in that building, I'll never forget. And people were spilling beer all over me, and my foot, I jumped up, my foot got stuck in the seat that I was in because I was standing up, and it was just something I'll never forget, just the joy in that sound. And like you said, it's such a huge part of sports, and to figure out a way to create that for other people is just an awesome inclusive act. I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah. So the next question I wanted to ask you guys is a little icebreaker. What movie is a movie that you can rewatch over and over and over again? I feel like I know Brooke's answer.
Tell me what you think it is.
It's Hilary Duff.
Lizzie McGuire movie?
Yeah, the Lizzie McGuire movie, isn't it?
She's looking at us like we're crazy.
I think you guys are only thinking that because her new album came out this week. But
And that's all. It's become your full personality.
if you really think about
it's
it,
Wizard of Oz.
it's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
the
that's
old
fair.
school, like
Yeah.
original Wizard of Oz is like
Yes.
one it can be on all the time.
1939.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen that since I was like a little kid.
Guess what we're doing when we go to Orlando?
Oh my gosh.
You can sit next to me on the plane.
Okay.
We'll watch it.
Yeah. I'm so
You did this to
pumped.
yourself.
What have I done?
Gosh.
Mine is it's a Tom Hanks movie from I think it was 1996. It's called That Thing You Do, and it is a movie I've seen probably hundreds of times. And if I'm like just wanting to relax and turn my mind off, it's like on in the background. Have either of you guys seen the movie That
I've
Thing
never
You Do?
even heard of this.
Oh, so good. It is in the mid 60s during like Beatlemania, and in this suburban Pennsylvania town, there's these teenagers that get together and they start a band and they have a hit song that goes #1 across the country. So it sort of shows their ascent into like they were the biggest thing in America, all culminating on them on the Ed Sullivan Show at the end of the movie, and they're on TV. And it just shows so much of the culture of the 60s and teenage culture versus their parents and what they thought success looked like. It has them wrestling with what it means to be successful and artistic. Oh, and it's so stinking funny. I mean, I love it so much. And the music's really great. And a crazy thing, like, they have this one hit song, and they play the song. I think they say it's like, not the full song, but the song is played like 36 times throughout the movie. And somehow you don't get sick of the song, the way they edit it and the way they only show the full performances a few times. And it's like a Beatlesque song, so it's like 2 minutes and 5 seconds long, that kind of a thing. But I love this movie so much. It's got Liv Tyler in it as the female lead. Steve Zahn, who's been in a lot of other things. He's a great comedic actor who's in it. It's gold.
Where
Yeah.
can we stream this?
I don't know right at the moment. I know that I purchased it on Apple Movies a couple years ago because I don't think I could stream it at the time, but now we got to find it out because it is so funny, so good, and it's a music movie, and I love that. But it just deals with a lot of culture and big themes too. So That Thing You Do, you doing that thing you do,
Oh, boy.
breaking my heart into a million pieces. I could keep going, but I'll stop.
Thank you for that.
My movie, I'd say it's one of my favorite movies, but it's The Princess Bride. Like,
Okay.
I never get bored of it. I can always turn it
Rob
on.
Reiner, R.I.P.,
Yeah, I love that movie so much, and I've actually never read the book, but it's based off of the book.
I had
The
no
Princess
idea
Bride.
until you just said that. There's a book.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I mean, that's the whole premise of the movie is the grandfather's reading the book
That's
to
true. That
his
makes sense now.
grandson.
Yeah, but it's a real book. Though.
Yeah, it is a real book. Yeah, but it's just so like fantastical and
funny.
Yeah, funny and a good adventure, and yeah, I love that movie so much. It's one I can watch
But that's
over
like
and
from
over.
the 80s too, isn't it?
I believe so. I don't know for
Quick
sure.
fact
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Quick
Yeah.
fact check here.
Do you guys feel like it's just those one movies for you, or do you feel like you have kind of a catalog of like 4 or 5?
I probably have 2 or 3 that
Okay.
all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
The American President is one of mine. It's another 90s movie. It's like it's one of Aaron Sorkin is my favorite writer. One of his first movies. really good. It's basically a rom-com in the White House, so it's really great.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I have a handful where they're just like mindless movies where it's just like a comfort movie that I don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
If I'm in a stressful situation, like waiting on a doctor's appointment or something that I'm stressed out about, I can just watch the movie on my phone and I feel better.
Yeah.
The Princess Bride is as old as me.
Is it?
1987. 38 years old. Coming up on 40.
Yes, but it's a very good movie.
Holds up.
Our final topic today, it's a Relevant magazine article titled "The Comparison Trap is Worse Than Ever. Here's How to Get Out." Social media has intensified our tendency to compare ourselves with others, creating a constant competition that leaves us feeling inadequate. We now have access to hundreds of people's highlight reels daily, watching friends showcase their successes, philanthropy, and perfect lives while we sit scrolling. This perpetual comparison fuels depression and leads us to tear others down just to feel better about ourselves. The author Heather Thompson Day learned that her jealousy and refusal to celebrate others' success wasn't hurting them. It was hindering her own growth and prayers. She realized she was competing with people who weren't even competing with her, and that blocking someone else's blessing prevented her own. By choosing to genuinely support others even when it hurt, and by repeating "it's not your turn" to herself, she began competing with herself rather than with others, which paradoxically helped her truly start living again. Ultimately, the article argues that who we are when it's not our turn matters more than who we'll be when it is. Success, followers, and accolades won't follow us beyond this life, but integrity and character will. By committing to grow in obscurity, show up with dignity even when no one's watching, and focus on our own journey rather than someone else's stage, we can escape the comparison trap and build something more valuable than any achievement, a life lived with conviction and purpose. So, would you guys say you struggle with the comparison trap?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it was funny for me, just even on Sunday afternoon, we had a really full Sunday morning, and we celebrated 6 people going to the waters of baptism at our church, and just a lot of awesome stuff happening and stories of life change. It was just beautiful so many ways. And I kind of came home and I just sort of laid down and just started scrolling, and I saw another church that I follow said they celebrated 200 baptisms this week. And I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? And it's like the silliest thing. And it sounds so dumb, but I was like, oh, I was just feeling so excited about what has happening here, which was awesome. But like, that's like unbelievable. How is that even possible? And it just sort of makes you feel small and insignificant, or not you're not doing as well as other people, even though that's just not true. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of different ways in my life.
Yeah. What about you, Brooke?
I feel like I do struggle with the comparison trap, but something I'm grateful for. I've gotten a lot better at not being necessarily jealous or envious or having ill feelings toward the other person, but I kind of push myself down, push my own confidence down based on like what other people are doing, or their life looks so perfect and I'm out here, like they have such great kids that look like they listen all the time and they're smiling for pictures, and I'm fighting for my life to get 2.5 hours of sleep a night right now. Like that kind of thing. Yeah. So I definitely do struggle with it. I like how she talked about in the article, like who we are when it's not our turn matters more than who we will be when it is our turn. And I feel like that's something that I try to remember, that helps me to not feel jealous or be comparing myself in like an envious way, to where I'm like trying to push others down.
Yeah.
What about you?
I definitely have. I think like Brooke, it's gotten a little better over the last few years, but before, like, I don't know, I fell into this trap of, you know, comparing myself to others and not realizing that their life online was not their life. Like that was
it's a
just,
highlight reel. It's not the whole picture. Right?
And so I would constantly compare it. And so then lately I'm like, okay, yeah, they might have this perfect life online, but that might not be what it looks like, you know, at home or at work or whatever. And so I feel like I've gotten a little bit better, but I still definitely fall into it really easily.
Yeah, the phrase that she used in the article a couple different times that Brooke already referenced was, it's not my turn. And I think that can be a helpful phrase to use and to reach for, because it's a phrase of trust. It's a phrase of like, okay, God's writing a story, and what I am desiring might be happening for him or for her or for them, but it's not right now. And God, I'm just going to trust that like you've got the better plan involved, and you've got the better plan in motion, and I can't see all that's turning behind, but it's just not my moment yet. It's not our moment yet. And it truly is an act of faith to say that and trust, because it's trusting that God's still good, even though you're not getting what you want when you want it. And you're trusting that he's going to be the same God he was when things were going great, when things are not going great. He's the same God in those places. I just remember when Megan and I were struggling to start a family, and there was just years of us, waiting and seeing other people have kids and just wondering, okay, is this for us, and where is this? And we'll celebrate them, but God, where are you for us? And it was such a difficult season, and it was a difficult season to trust that God was the same God then as he was back when we weren't desiring that, and that he's the same God. He was the same God then as he is now, that we have 3 beautiful kids. But it's ultimately an act of trust, and in my experience, you find he's the same God throughout it all, and you grow and you mature and you get stronger and wiser when it's not your turn.
Yeah.
And there's some transformation on the inside that happens.
Yeah.
And not saying that it's easy, but the comparison, it lessens its blow when you start to realize that, okay, and you start to trust that God is writing a better story than you could write for yourself.
Yeah. So how would you suggest people get out of this cycle of constantly comparing themselves to others?
I mean, one, I would start to recognize that don't compare your life next to somebody's highlight reel. Yeah. Like what you're seeing online is not the totality of their life. What you see on my social media is not the totality of my life. What you see on anybody's social media, even if they make vulnerable posts about how hard a day was or how they're struggling, that's not the totality of their experience of life. So know that when you're seeing that, you're not seeing the full picture. You're seeing a highlight reel, and don't ever compare your normal life as you're scrolling and dropping your phone on your face, you're laying down, to someone else's highlight reel. Yeah. And the second thing I would say is, if you take your cue from the person to the left and right of you about how well you're doing, you will always either be filled with pride or with jealousy. Yep. If like you're looking at the left and the right to see how am I measuring up, you're either going to be filled with pride because you're like, well, at least I don't have it as bad as they are. At least I got my stuff together enough that I have this, that, and a job, and this, and house, and all that kind of stuff. Yep. But you also just, if you're taking your cue from the other side, and there's always going to be someone who's doing better, who's better than you, and faster than you, smarter than you, more wealthy than you are. They have the things that you want. Like, you're always going to find that. So it's just a losing battle when you play the comparison game. You always lose because you're either going to be filled with pride or you're going to be filled with jealousy and envy. And so to me, it's finding rhythms and patterns in your life to where you can ultimately not be looking to the left and the right, but looking up and looking at what God says about you. And just as a mantra or as a statement, like, you have to remember that you're God's beloved and that he's with you, and that he does not judge you by looking at the left and the right, but he loves you just as you are, and he wants to walk with you, and his love never ends. And I think the more that we believe that and trust that, the less we'll be tempted to look to the left and the right, where it's just a losing battle. Yeah.
I think social media just has so much to do with this as well. And something that I have started doing in the last couple of years is, if I find myself consistently coming across a certain person who's posting consistently things that are making those feelings fester up in me of jealousy or comparison, sometimes I'm just like, it's really not that deep. I can just unfollow this person. Yeah. A lot of times it's like an influencer who maybe is having too much influence on me in my life. And so I'm like, okay, I know, just for my own peace, I need to unfollow this person. Or even like, I have friends on Facebook, sorry y'all, maybe it's been you before, that I have like silenced for 30 days because I'm just like, I love you and I'm cheering for you, but this feels like too much for me right now. Yeah. And nothing against them, just I gotta quiet that noise for my own personal peace right now, so that I don't get wrapped up in that comparison trap. But it can be hard.
And you mentioned influencers. I think that influencers do such a great job of making it look like they're just another friend on your feed as you're going through things, but you don't realize that they're a business.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get you to do something, purchase something.
Yeah.
Their job is to influence the way you think and feel.
Yeah.
And so when you recognize that you're being a part of that system, then maybe, and you realize it's not doing good for you, it's not healthy for you, unfollow, silence, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But we are being manipulated by the algorithms, by advertisements, by influencers, much more than we ever stop to recognize, myself included. And when we realize it's taking us away from trusting our own belovedness, and it's making us, mentally less than, and slowing us down, and getting us stuck in the comparison trap, we have the power to say no. We ultimately do, but we almost need to be shaken out of our slumber, shaken out of being sleepwalking through all the craziness that's being thrown at us to tell us, you need this to be happy, or you're lacking because they have this, and this is the one thing that's going to change everything, as the influencers say. But we're being hit with it all the time. So recognizing that and shutting it down is something that could help us not get so entrapped.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode of Atypical Talk. If you have any topics or questions you'd like to ask, you can email those to atypicaltalkpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at atypicaltalkpod. And make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to get updates when new episodes go live. We hope that these conversations today have helped you think wider, love deeper, and partner with God to bring the up there down here in your everyday life. Thanks for listening.